before we start, and this has never happened, but as soon as you came on, my little light next to me turned off, and it's never done that before. And I had
I'll tell
to
you that.
to touch it a couple times to get it to turn back on. It's
Who does
weird.
that?
Really? So this is not like that's
Mm-mm.
never happened to me with this light. It just turned off. Welcome back to Operation Evil. And I am here today with Mandi. She is my co-host for this episode. And we have another guest who we are going to call Anonymous. And this is a Halloween special episode, a bonus for you guys. And it's a bunch of spooky scenarios, stories, and whatnot. And I'll let Mr. Anonymous tell his stories. But Mandi, welcome back. I love having you.
I love being here, Nyoka, and you know I love this movie shit.
Oh, I do too. I do too. And Mandi will be for sure on another really like close one to this, another episode coming up that we'll be recording here soon. So you're definitely going to hear from Mandi here and there for sure.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple more ideas for you too, Nyoka. You know I'm full of all this kind of stuff, so I'm
I
sure
love
I'll be
it.
around for quite a few more.
I love having you here. Love it.
Anonymous is running around turning off the lights and stuff now.
Anonymous is pretty cool, and I think you guys are going to love him.
He's lighting some candles, making it nice and spooky in here
I mean, you
now.
got to get in the mood. It is a Halloween episode.
For sure. I live Halloween 365, so
Yeah, me too. Every day is Halloween for me.
I would like to identify as Mysterious Mustachio for the rest of this podcast.
Okay, I love it. So whenever you want to start, because I know you have a bunch of things that you've mentioned, and we're just gonna flow and see what comes out.
That's always good.
Yeah.
And we have a wonderful thunderstorm brewing outside, so this is going to add to the everything.
Oh, nice.
Nice thunderstorm. It's about to downpour right now. So all of these things that I'm about to talk about today, they're all true stories, but my whole reasoning for coming out here and talking about this is because I want to know what you guys think. I want to know, what do you think the most common explanation for this is? Because these are some things that have happened to me over the years that I don't understand it. I can't explain it. I just know that it happened because I was there. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of, or maybe not, Aokigahara, which is in Japan. It's at the base of Mount Fuji, and it has a unique name that we're gonna call it the self-unsubscribed forest. That's what they
Oh,
call it out there.
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The history goes back very, very far to back in the day. Like I'm talking like a very long time ago. People, when they couldn't take care of their elderly anymore, what they would do is they would lead them out into the forest and they would leave them out there.
Oh, that's so
And
mean.
that's terrible. When the elderly would become a burden to the family, whatever, they would just leave them out there. And sometimes they would understand and they would just, unsubscribe.
Mm.
Um, Throughout the years, it became a very popular place for this event, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's located between two very common tourist spots, the Wind Cave and the Ice Cave. So there's a trail that connects these two. Now, right smack in the middle of that trail, there's a trail that just leads off into the forest. Now, they have this chained off with a rope that says do not cross. And all the way throughout these trails, there's a bunch of signs that say life is a precious gift, think about your parents, think about your children, like motivational.
Wow.
But still, there's quite a large number of people. I'm not going to get into statistics because I don't know the statistics, but a very large number of people go into that forest and never come back. It's rumored that they have the jukai, which is what the Japanese call I believe that's what they call the evil spirits that coerce you and tempt you and put these bad thoughts into your head to do bad things, because when you go out there and you do that bad thing, they can basically take what you just left behind. So, me and all my wisdom, I take two of my friends and we decide to go out there and check it out. Um, we go on the trail, we hop over where we're not supposed to. Now, we got ready for this. We watched a bunch of documentaries, kind of knowing what to expect. And we're just walking around. The forest is beautiful. It's basically the last time Mount Fuji had erupted, it covered the ground with molten rock. So it's unique. I had never seen anything like that before.
Do you have
Very quiet.
pictures, by the way?
I do on my photography website. I will.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
if you have one where I can post it
yeah, I
or
do.
something, just send it to me later. That would be
Yeah, I got,
cool
I got,
to have a
I got a
visual.
couple. I got a couple of pictures of some moss growing up a tree.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just
Very
something
creepy.
to include. Yeah.
I've also been to Ogikawara because I was stationed out there for about 4.5 years, and it really is just absolutely beautiful. Like he was explaining, when the volcano had erupted like several hundred years ago, it covered the ground with all of the lava rock and everything, and then the forest grew over top of the rock. So it is the most quietest place you will ever experience. There's no echo, nothing like that, and it's there's moss that grows, and it's the perfect temperature. It's absolutely beautiful. I've got a lot of pictures as well I can send.
Yeah, please do.
Let's travel into the dark.
Yes.
So, me and two of my friends go out there. Now, my friend, who will also remain anonymous, we'll call him the redhead.
Okay.
He was a huge introvert until he met me, and I'm the extrovert that kidnaps an introvert and says, "Come on, we're going outside." And we had another buddy of ours that's just, well, kind of there, but it's us three, nobody else. So we're going down this forest. The entire time I feel like there's somebody behind me. I keep looking over my shoulders. I had just this, like, my insides are crumbling like aluminum foil the whole time we're there, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I want to leave. Then we start finding ribbons attached to the trees. That's something that the people would do if they're going to go into the forest, but they're not unsure. I mean, they are unsure of what they want. They'll attach a ribbon to the tree when they go off the beaten trail so that they can find their way back in case they change their mind. We're walking, and then we find this little opening under some rocks. We decide to go in there. It was an underground cave system that just expanded. Like the hole was about, like, you could barely crawl in there, but when you get in there, it just opened up, and it was dark. We had our flashlights, but somebody had definitely been in there, and we found some things. We found an ID. We found some money. We found some alcoholic beverages, empty. And then we found bottles of bleach and sleeping pills. We were creeped out a little bit. We decided to leave. Okay, so we get out of the forest, we go home, whatnot. A few days later, I start that same feeling that something was following me around and just watching me all the time in my house now. Now, in Japan, I lived in a very Americanized two-story townhouse type thing. Very narrow, but it's 2 stories. 2 bedrooms upstairs, a bathroom, and then downstairs was the kitchen, the little mudroom entrance, and my living room. So it's not a very big space. I feel like something keeps watching me and following me around, and then out of the corner of my eye, I start getting a glimpse of this thing. It was very short. It was very small. And it took me a few days before I actually got a clear, like, wait, what is that? Like, it looked like a little girl. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, either I'm going crazy, I'm seeing things, or I got a new friend. I don't say anything about it because now I don't want my friends to think I'm crazy or whatnot. So, of course, I'm not going to say anything about it.
Right.
Well, here's where things start getting a little creepy. I was teaching my buddy Redhead how to play guitar. So we would come upstairs, and upstairs, my layout was you go up the stairs. To the left is my bedroom with a walk-in closet, which is where I had always seen whatever it was I was seeing, or thought I was seeing, or whatnot. And then to the right, I had a little studio set up with soundproofing on the walls, the keyboard, guitars, the whole nine. So my back is to the door. Redhead is facing the door. And I'm trying to teach him how to try to play Wonderwall, and he keeps stopping and looking up until he finally goes, "Dude, look, I can't take it anymore. I don't mean to sound crazy here, but I think I'm seeing a ghost in your room." Oh, why do you say that? What does it look like? Tell me, please explain this to me. I'm getting chills right now when he explained exactly what I was seeing this whole time, down to what she was wearing.
That
And
makes
I'm
you
like,
feel so justified when someone else is having the same experience.
Yeah.
if it would have only been one person. But yeah, exactly. 100%. That's when I'm like, I'm not crazy.
Well, you
But
are.
I mean, at a different kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So he described this thing to a T. And then I told him, I was like, he was in the forest with me. I was like, I started seeing that when we came back from the forest. And he's like, why am I seeing it? I said, I don't know. Maybe because you were there with me. I don't know. I can't explain this. This is one of those things of can't explain it. So he asked me, like, does it mess with you? Like, dude, what are we like? What's going on here? I was like, no, it's really doesn't move things around. It's not a poltergeist. I just see it every once in a while. I'll see it standing outside the window, trying to look out the window. See it peeking out of my closet every once in a while. It just kind of keeps to itself. Like, doesn't bother me. I don't bother it. We're good. Fast forward a little bit. I was dating this girl named Tammy, and you know, you know what people do when they date. So one day she nudges me and tells me, "I don't think your girlfriend likes me." So I'm looking at her, I'm like, "The hell's wrong with you? You're my girlfriend." She's like, "No, your girlfriend." So and then she points at the closet, and I'm like, "Okay, start talking." Describes exactly what Redhead said and what I had been seeing. So I'm like, "Okay," and I explained to her, and she's local from the area, so she's like, "That's bad." I'm like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't feel any different. Like, why would that be bad? And she explains to me, when you go in there and you come out with something, whatever comes out with you is never good. So I'm like, well, I don't even know if that's where it came from, honestly. It just coincidentally started happening after a little while. So now she can see this. So now there's two people that are validating the things that I'm seeing. Now I really know I'm not crazy.
Right.
But it started getting a little more aggressive. I noticed it would start moving the curtains because I always had the curtains open and it liked to stand there and look out the window. I started closing the curtains and it did not like that. It would push them open. I know I closed those curtains. Oh my God. I also played football on a team while I was out there. And some of my teammates came over one day and they brought some friends with them. And we're all hanging out downstairs playing Call of Duty Zombies. We're all having a good time. It was me and two of my dudes. And then they brought three girls over. End of the night, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm tired. It's the weekend. So I just put the TV on Netflix, put my controller down, and said, you guys watch whatever you want, do whatever you want. Mi casa, tu casa. I'm going upstairs. So I go and I get in bed, right? I hear one of them call out to me from downstairs. He's like, hey, yo, Mystery Mustachio. And I answer from upstairs. What? And then he tells me, hey, I don't remember her name, so we're gonna call her. Hey, Yukio, want to go up there with you? I was like, okay. So she goes up, comes in my room, closes the door, whatever. A couple minutes later, I hear the same friend, but now he calls to me. He's like, hey, Mystery Mustachio. But he's not projecting his voice like he's trying to talk to me upstairs. He's talking like he thinks I'm standing next to him.
Oh,
So I answer from upstairs, what? And then everything's just quiet. And I'm waiting for a response. And then I hear, oh hell no! Shuffling of feet. Like it sounds like freaking people, a stampede running through my house. The door opens, the door shuts, the car turns on, and they peeled rubber out of my driveway. And I'm like, the hell was that? I didn't think nothing of it. I went back to sleep. In the morning, I wake up and the two girls are down on the couch by themselves. And I call this dude. I'm like, dude, what the hell? What happened? And then he's like, I got a story for you. So this is his story. So after Yukio had gone upstairs, he hears some rustling in the kitchen. He thought I somehow sneaked downstairs and was in the kitchen. And he says, "Hey, yo, mysterious Mustachio." And when I called back out from upstairs, that's when he was like, "Uh-oh." He leans over to look into the kitchen because from the couch, you could see into the kitchen. He says that there was a little girl with long black hair. Think of The Ring, wearing
Oh,
tattered khaki pajamas, like they were torn up. She had a bunch of scars. She did not look pretty. I had never seen her face until after my friend saw it and told me what it looked like. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared to see her face after that because I was like, man, I've never seen her face. And if you're telling me it looks like that, well, so he looks over and he sees a little girl playing with my silverware in the kitchen. And she turned her head to look at him, and that's when he saw her face. And he covered his head with the blanket because he's like, and I quote, "I didn't want whatever I was looking at to see me see it." So he covers his head. This thing uncovered his head, pulled the
oh
blanket down.
no.
That's when he said, "Oh, hell no." And the other dude was awake throughout the whole thing, just watching it. And when he looked over and he saw that, he was the first one to stampede out before this dude got the blanket pulled out from him. But when he got the blanket pulled off, he kicked that thing off and just ran out the door. He would not go back into my house. I used to cycle. I had a commuter bike that I would take to and from work. And then for like long rides, I had a road bike, like a street bike, bicycle. After work, we would go on a long ride and I would ride my commuter home, change, and get my road bike. Now, he always had a road bike, so he didn't need to change. We would go to my house to change bikes and for me to change, and he would not come in my house. He never came back into my house after seeing that.
I don't blame him.
I don't either.
That's
But
terrifying.
then after he had that incident, my friends are like, "Bro, you're screwed." Because also when you enter, they're like, "You need to move, but you can't move because the lease that you enter is it's a logistical nightmare." So like, bro, I would not live in that house. Now, Redhead kept coming over, and he was there with me throughout the whole thing. One day, I was just in my music room playing guitar or whatever, and looked over to my bedroom where I usually saw the back of this thing's head. It was standing at the doorway into the music room, and I yelled out, almost dropped my guitar, freaked me out because the hair wasn't in the face anymore. The hair was off to the sides. Lacerations, like scars, and just like, I don't even know how to describe it. Just looked like the flesh was falling off and just like it gotten beaten off with like a whip or something. And that's when I started getting scared of this thing. Then I would see it and I would try to avoid it through means that I can't really talk much about. I sought some help and I reached out to somebody who, by the way, knew the whole story without me even telling them. So they validated themselves pretty good.
What, you got a pot big enough to put them in? All the anatomically correct horses just staring you in the face all night?
I told you guys about the butterfly license plate I had, right?
Every week on Between the States, friends and guests share stories about everyday life.
The kind that make you laugh, think, and say,
yeah, I've been there too.
And the kind of connection you only get when real people open up and share their thoughts.
So if you want a show that feels like hanging out with good friends, where it's fun,
real,
sometimes a little deeper than you'd expect, check out Between the States.
New episodes drop every Thursday.
Between the States, a conversation you'll actually want to join.
So do that at
BetweenTheStates.com.
and available on all your favorite platforms.
Did she just like kind of follow you home, or was she like attached to that house?
Attached to me, not the house,
Oh,
to
okay.
me. So this person that extra validated it went in a little bit further than what I could see and what I knew. And turns out that the little girl that we were seeing, now take this with a grain of salt because I did when they told me, but I believe. So if you believe, put on your thinking caps and let's go for a ride. The little girl that I was seeing was a tortured soul that this thing had captured. Apparently, the thing that was actually attached to me was never in human form. It was very big, it was very scary, and it would hide. It would hide in the shadows and present this little you know, girl as it's, oh, look, this is me, but it's a puppet. So I don't
That
know
gives me
how.
goosebumps because that's so Conjuring Annabelle vibes.
Absolutely. I every time I watch those movies, it's like a lot of the things that I lived, I can see that, and I'm like, these whoever wrote these movies, like it 100% sounds like this story came from. Oh, I watched Annabelle, and now I'm gonna come up with a story. I can validate all of it, but those people who made those movies,
Hmm.
they knew a thing or two because they're very accurate. Just like in The Conjuring One, with when she woke up with the bruises,
Oh
that's
yeah.
another story we'll get into.
Y'all ain't gonna believe this, but as a spooky bitch that loves all things spooky and black, I don't watch scary movies. I don't know what y'all
What?
are talking about. No, I don't like scary movies. I don't like jump scares. I'm gonna hit somebody. No, I don't. I do not like jump scares. I I do not domestic violence people. I don't believe in hitting somebody you care about, but I swear I'm gonna swing on him. You're lucky you're recording.
Got a stone drop on it.
He got a glass jaw. You're gonna find out here in a minute. If it gets real silent in here, it's because he's laid out. That's fine. But no, I don't. No, I don't do scary. Nope. Mm-mm.
It's so good if you like scary movies. They're really
No.
good. Because
No,
it's that Ed and Lorraine Warren couple, if you heard of them, they
Absolutely.
were like the founders of the paranormal stuff, and a lot of this stuff, it was their cases. So,
I do know the cases because, well, cases.
yeah.
But as far as the movies based on the home and
Hmm.
stuff like that, no, I have not watched those movies. The closest scary movie I got was Forest, which was loosely based on Akigahara.
Oh,
Very loosely based,
Yeah.
but let's continue with the Kauai.
yes.
Where was I? Okay, so I was able to get rid of this thing, but it was not easy. And when I did get rid of it, in the way I got rid of it, it had some parting words before it left. And the person that helped me get rid of it had no idea where I had been, where I had picked this thing up, or even that I had gone into an underground cave because there was only two other people alive that know we went down into a cave. Well, now there was another person that knew. That's right there where I said, "Oh, oh, explain that to me." Oh, and by the way, the cave was in Japan, and I had to go back to the States. And we didn't, again, like I said, there's no way that this person would have known that there's even an underground cave in a very creepy forest to know that I went down in
Mm.
there, and that's where I picked this thing up.
That person knew their stuff.
That's where I said this is very validated. But now let's take a side quest because we're talking about the Conjuring movies and how a lot of their movies really depict things. I had this ex-girlfriend. We'll call her we'll call her Scary. When she was a child, somebody tried to put some evil witchcraft hoodoo voodoo stuff on her father. Her being the innocence of a child, she saw it and she messed with it, not knowing what it was. Now, the thing that they were trying to put on her father is now following her around. She was a normal little girl up until like middle school, and now she started doing like some things that you really like the stories from her. You could write a book on this stuff, and then it just continued afterwards. Now I know why it continued, but when I met her, she was my best friend's former sister-in-law. He had warned me about her. He said, "This girl is the devil," which is why we call her Scary. But she duped me, and she got me into believing that, oh, no one's ever given me a chance, and here comes Captain Save a Girl. Da-da-da. She was she liked the booger sugar quite a bit. And I had told her, look, if you're gonna be into that stuff, you can't be with me because of my job. So you got to pick. We're either parting ways right now, or you're gonna put that stuff down. Her excuse was, well, it's surrounding me out here. I can't get away from it. So I went and I moved her up with me to where I was living. I was like, there you go. You're hundreds of miles away from anywhere you know you can get stuff. Fresh start for you. She had this dark passenger attached to her, and she would wake up. Now, mind you, she would be with me 24/7. We wouldn't be into any sports or anything. And she would wake up, which, by the way, I do not domestic violence. She would wake up with hand marks, like somebody was grabbing her arms and holding her down after she would tell me about this weird dream that she had, like a very tall, dark shadow figure holding her down and having his way with her.
But it wasn't a dream.
It really wasn't. So
Mm-mm.
one night, I always sleep with the door closed, by the way, but door was open. This is when the whole door closed thing started. Door was open, and this thing is standing in the doorway, and I can hear it talk. And it said something along the lines of, "She's mine. You can't have her." And I responded back, "Come try it," because I know that it can't touch me. So it just says, "Okay, I'll take her son." And it just poof, gone. So that's when I was like, uh-oh. I shake her awake. And now she was aware of this because she knew about it. She tried to lie to me at first, but then afterwards she told me, she goes, "I know, I've been seeing it and this and that." So I tried to wake her up. I was like, "Hey, I just had an encounter with your little buddy." And she's kind of like, "Oh, really? Well, what did he say?" Before I could get another word out, her son starts screaming. 7-year-old son, screaming in his room. So we get up and we go there. The kid wet the bed. He was cuddled into the corner of his bed and he was terrified. And all he could say was, "Mommy, I'm scared. I'm scared." And she would be like, "What are you scared of?" And he couldn't describe it. He's like, I don't know, but I'm scared. I'm scared."
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That,
Needless
he
to
saw
say,
that
the relationship didn't last very long because I caught her giving mouth to something else, resuscitation to somebody for drugs behind the dumpster. So she got tossed. And with her, that thing left too. So it was kind of like the air in my house cleared up after she was gone. But yeah, her life just kept going beep, 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 down the drain. And now,
she can keep that one.
absolutely, it's going to destroy her life. I mean, right now, I think last I heard, she's homeless and she's pregnant with her third child from a literal crackhead.
Oh my God.
You know, I wish her the best, but unfortunately, I know how that story ends.
Yeah. The
So how
dream
about you?
stuff always gets to me because my body doesn't like paralyze like it should when you go to sleep. And I will react to my dreams and disturb other people. Like I feel so bad for anyone sleeping next to me or near me because I'm like punching things or I'm running or I don't know. It's like always a stressful situation. But I was a sleepwalker as a kid too, and it's a nightmare.
My son was a sleepwalker when he was little, and I have PTSD, so I get really startled when I'm sleeping very easily. And he would just do weird little things. He would get up in the middle of the night and walk and like get into the refrigerator or just wander around the house because he wasn't really coherent, or he would get into the cabinet. And so I would hear that and I would immediately get scared. And so I would, come out, and down the long hallway, I would see this tiny little dark, creepy figure like mumbling and stumbling down the hallway. So my poor son has been inadvertently, don't come for me, abused as a child, where I face palmed him or shoved him or swung at him or something like that, because he's just, don't look at me like that. He's mumbling and like toddling toward me, and I'm just like, face palm.
Right? It's got to be freaky to witness that. My mom says she was always worried that I was going to fall down the basement steps, like I was going to open the door and just take a tumble.
When I lived in Washington, I lived literally right on the Sinclair Inlet. So my backyard was only about 10 feet from my back door. And then there was about a 10-foot-ish tall retaining wall. And then it dropped down right into the water of the Sinclair Inlet. So I put alarms on the door and high locks and everything because I was afraid he was going to just sleepwalk out the back door and into the water.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah. But going back to the spirits and ghosts and stuff, I've always been very, very open to wanting to see and hear and know what's going on around me.
No, you don't.
And I've never been able to. I've never been able to see or hear. Every now and then, like very, very rarely, I'll see like a tracer out of the corner of my eye, but I've never been able to. And when I went to Akigahara, I didn't feel, see, hear, nothing. I was very much at peace, and I thought it was beautiful and everything. And
Well, it's not.
That's
it's not
good.
something it's not something you develop or you can work on.
oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And-
I was experiencing weird things since I was like 5. It's like the
Yeah.
first time I could remember. And I even had this medium tell me, she goes, "You think everywhere you live is haunted?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "It's not the houses, it's you."
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. But you know what's crazy is I haven't had any experiences in years, and I don't know why. It almost feels weird. I know that sounds weird to say. It
You're not
feels
paying attention. You're not paying attention enough because I can
maybe.
tell you, you have recently too. You're just not paying attention enough, and
I
you're
have
writing
been
it off.
noticing things out of the corner of my eyes, but I thought maybe, I don't know.
I have.
You know how it goes.
They're so vague that I couldn't tell you when or what or where is going to happen until it happens. Like Sunday night, I had the dream about when I was a kid, and I kind of impaled my hand and had to get stitches.
Mhm.
And I just thought I was dreaming about it again. But then on Monday, when he put your hand up, when he stabbed his hand, that's exactly where he stabbed his hand at.
Oh, so it's like a
But
warning. Yeah.
my dreams are like that.
Oh.
See, I thought, oh, maybe I'm gonna get a hook in my hand or I'm gonna get stabbed or something like that. But it ended up being him. See, I have the dreams, but
Yeah.
I can't do anything with them really.
Well, hot off the press, I'm about to give you the warning I just got recently. So you're hearing it first right here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get bit by something in the next, I don't know how long. I'm gonna get bit.
Thanks for giving me the heads up.
Yeah, I don't tell you 95% of the things that happen or that go through my head, I don't tell you because then you'll worry. I know it's coming. Just like I knew this hook was coming, I knew the stab was coming. I didn't know specifically that was going to happen, but I knew I was going to shed blood very, very soon. And I had made a comment about that prior to my injuries. I had told her I haven't shed blood in a while. It's going to be bad when it actually happens. And go figure, a trip to the ER, and I lost a lot of blood, actually,
Yeah, I bet you did.
because I haven't been shedding blood. But anyways, here's my dream. So where we are, there are these rather large snakes.
Oh my
Boy,
God, I was just thinking it was going to be a snake.
I'm telling you, we're cut from the same cloth. I'm real, recognized real here.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot here,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a little curious. What other animal do you think is in this?
A dog.
No.
No?
Well, wait. No, there was a dog, but the dog was just there.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even. Okay, so in the dream, I'm walking around an abandoned village, and I see one of these giant, like 14, 15-foot snakes. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, snakes attack, snakes bite. So I'm on guard. I'm like, I got no weapons on me in this dream. I'm like, right there. I'm incredibly self-aware that I knew this was a dream because I was like, no weapons? Wake up, fool. So I'm following this thing. I pull my phone out and now I'm filming it to show people because I'm like, this is insane. This is like a 15-foot snake. And it just slithers by me. I'm thinking this whole time this is going to turn and it's going to attack me. But it doesn't. It just slithers away into a crack in the door. And I can see it go upstairs. Then it gets on an electrical line and travels to the next house, gets down and gets in very peacefully.
Hmm.
Oh, look at that. When I'm in the backyard of the house, I look over and there's a giant gator. A big gator.
Oh.
Now, he's just minding his business, walking by stuff. I'm going to creep away because I know this thing's going to attack me.
Yeah.
So I'm creeping away and I'm walking backwards, keeping my eyes on threat. And when I see this thing opens its mouth and it turns toward me, I was like, yep, that's my cue. So I run, and I jump this gate. It was a wooden slat fence. I go and I jump this gate. Now there's gaps in the fence where I can obviously see what's behind it, but I go jump this fence and now I'm walking down the street and something in my head says, "Run, fool! You're not out of the woods yet." But I turn around and look at the fence. I'm like, "Nah, I can't get over that fence." Oh, it got through the fence, and then I ran and this thing caught me. And as I'm running away, this thing grabbed me by the leg and took me down. And then I woke up. That dream is a warning. The warning is that the danger is not where I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
The danger is when I get complacent. When I think
Yeah.
I've done this a million times, I know what I'm doing. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And then I get complacent, and that's when something's going to strike. Jesus, don't go fishing with me anymore. Then I'm probably going to get bit soon. I don't know what to tell you. No, you're staying on land then. If you're going to freak out about me getting bit,
She's going to be looking for alligators.
I've been bit before. So last time I met the teeth of a shark. We were shark fishing in the Keys, and I'm very, very particular about how we do things. And somebody had to hold the light because it's pitch black. Somebody had to hold the light because when we gaff the shark and bring it up, I'm about to swing an angry shark over the rail that's got a big treble hook, big gaff in his back. So you got to be careful. Now I'm bringing this thing up, and right when I went to swing it, the person that was holding the light decided to shine the light somewhere else to look at something in the water as I had the shark like up here. So I stopped what I was doing and I held the shark on the rail because I can't see. I'm blind now. I don't know where this thing's mouth is. I don't know where its tail is. So I put the shark on the rail and I said, "Give me the effing light." Well, thing was slashing his head and it got me. And you can't really see it in the video, but I'll have her send you a picture. It cut me right down the road. You can see the rows of teeth where it got me.
Sharks freak me out, but they fascinate me at the same time. But they have
And
those
then
dead eyes, you know?
Here's how I know. Oh, no, not all of them have those dead eyes. Like black tips have like a cat eye. But here's why I say I'm going to get bit. Because in my dream, my dream interpreter basically told me what the dream meant. Because after I have the dream, I see people, I hear things. They basically told me, you need to be careful where you think you don't need to be careful. And I was like, okay. Now, here's the thing. I spearfish a lot. I've had plenty of encounters with sharks, and I'm constantly telling people, hell, I just told a group of people today, you don't have to worry about the sharks. They're not after you. They're after your fish. Just be mindful of your hands and your feet while you're bringing a fish to you. Once you secure your catch, you're good. But until that fish is in your hands, it's anybody's fish. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to have a slip up where probably gets my glove. Maybe it doesn't even get me. But
I
that's
hope it
my
doesn't,
prediction.
but if it does, you better tell me.
Well, here's the thing. They give me these dreams so that it doesn't happen. And I feel like if I wouldn't have had and understood this dream,
Yeah.
it probably could have ended up bad and like losing a finger or even worse, maybe even losing a leg. Who knows?
Yeah.
But this is their way of kind of warning me. Oh, and
I've had those dreams before too.
but let's go back down the rabbit hole. So
I'm ready.
I want to hear something from you though.
No, yeah, like
This
what?
is the Halloween. This is the Halloween spooky.
It is.
And I have a feeling there's something you want to talk about that you're not you're letting me talk, and I appreciate it, but I want to hear one of your spooky encounters. So I got like 3 or 4 more. I could talk all night, but I want to hear one of yours.
The scariest one for me, and I've said this on the podcast before, the last house I lived in, so many experiences, and everyone that came over had experiences too, which was nice. Between whispering in the ears to seeing a figure walk by to always feeling like someone was in the dark corner in my dining room area. But the scariest thing is I was in the shower and someone's banging on the bathroom door. And I thought it was my husband. And I'm like, what do you want? Bang, bang, bang. It was like, you know how in the movies, like cops trying to tear down a door? I mean, it was loud. And I'm mad because I like shampoo in my hair. I'm, just trying to shower and I'm like yelling because I thought it was him. It happened several times to the point where I was so angry. I stepped out of the shower, wrapped the towel around me, opened the door, no one's there. And I'm like, okay. So I finish up, I go downstairs and I asked him, what the hell, man? Like, I was in the shower. I couldn't wait. What did you want? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you were banging on the door. And he's like, no, but I heard. I heard that. He goes, I thought someone was knocking at the front door. And I went to go check and there was nobody there. And that was the freakiest thing, other than one time I heard a toddler giggle, and there's no toddlers in my house. But I was downstairs and I heard it on the staircase upstairs giggling. There was crazy energy in that house.
They say there's nothing more beautiful than the laughter of a child.
No.
Until it's 3 a.m. and you realize you don't have kids.
Right. It was just me home too. Like I had a daughter, but she was like 11 at this point, and this was like a toddler giggle.
She never had any
creepy.
She never had any imaginary friends?
She never talked about it if she did. No. No, but I don't know. That was just like one of many. But that house was the most active. It was like several. You could tell it almost felt like a family, like a wife that was scared trying to tell you something. A scary husband that maybe was abusive, and a little kid. Like it felt like a family, a ghost there, you know?
They're trapped together for all eternity.
Yeah. As soon as I left that house, I never felt the same. I never felt them again.
I have a motto. If you bang on my door and you don't announce yourself, my first words are, go away. Because if it's somebody who's familiar to you, they're like, what? Why? And now they're talking to you. But you invite them in when you say, what do you want? Hello? Is there anybody there? You're giving them that in. But no, go away. And if it's somebody who, they'll be like, what the hell, man? Okay, you've identified yourself. You're good to go. So let's go back. Let's talk about a story. I'll call this one E.T. I used to have to wear glasses before I got the eye surgery. I don't know what. In Spanish, it's called myopia. So I don't know. Myopia. Oh, there you go. Sorry, English is my second language.
Is it really?
So I had myopia. Yeah.
You do great. Speak better than I do.
I couldn't speak English until I was 7.
Wow, that's cool.
6. We'll call it 6 because I started school. My parents only spoke Spanish, and I would watch Spanish TV all the time. So, But we used to live up in New Jersey. When my parents came from Cuba in 1980, if you've ever seen Scarface, yeah, that's how my parents got their ticket to America. The only family we had in the States was my dad's cousin who lived up in New Jersey. But the colds for the birds, we went down south real quick. But I used to have myopia, and I used to wear these thick glasses that looked like the bottom of a bottle. And at night, I would go to sleep. I had to take them off. So imagine, I would basically take my eyes out, essentially, every night before I go to sleep. Because now all I see is blurs. So the way that our room was set up, our beds were against the wall, but the foot of our bed had a door that led into my parents' room. Now, if you were to go through that door to the right, they had an armoire there. So you can see the corner of the armoire. If you're in my bed looking towards my parents' room, you can see the edge through the door of that armoire.
Oh, that would be annoying. I would think that someone was always there.
Oh, but there was. That's where we're going with this. So I would take off my glasses, and this is where I had to start sleeping with a nightlight because the lights would be off. I'd take off my glasses, and I'd look in there, and I'd start seeing very bright white shadows because shadows aren't luminescence. They're not bright. So I'd see this little white blob because remember, I don't have my glasses on. My parents put them up top, so I can't even grab them, to see what I'm looking at. All I see is a white blob that would literally do this. So imagine this is the corner of the armoire. I would see this.
Oh no, that's creepy.
So creepy. For those who can't see, he's just sneaking around.
When I would start screaming, it would go. I'd see the 2 hands, and it would come out. And at first, and then it would come out, and it would stand there, and it would look at me, and I would see it moving. I didn't know what it was doing. I was like, oh, what is that? Like, oh my God. Never scared me until, if you remember the 80s, the late 80s, the movie E.T. came out. I'm watching this movie, and then there's a scene where he gets sick. Do you remember what color he turns when he gets sick?
No, it's been too long.
Pale white. Pale white.
Oh, okay.
So I associated what I was seeing at night with a very sick E.T. I said, oh my God, he's coming to get me. Like, he's
Oh,
coming to get me. So I would see it at night. I would cry bloody murder, and it would hide. When I yell, "Mom, Mom, ET's coming to get me, Mom, Mom," and my parents knew this whole time that I had the gift. But of course, what are you going to tell a child? No, no, no. You're just seeing things. You're just seeing things.
right. You don't want to freak them out.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
I'm never gonna let you live this down, but you see ET at night. Is that why you still sleep with the light on?
Shut your face.
Yeah.
See, he doesn't understand these things. I'm gonna call my sister real quick.
Hello?
Hey, you're on speaker and you're on speaker and you're being recorded, so watch yourself. But
Great.
I have a question. I have a question for you. When we were kids in New Jersey, what's the thing that terrified me the most and why?
E.T.
Why did ET terrify me?
Because you used to see him in your sleep or whatever. You used to see him in the dark.
Yes, and what would I do when I would see ET coming around Mom's arm more, and what would I do?
You would cry, scream, mostly cry.
Yeah, and then what would Mom and Dad tell me?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, that's nothing. It's nothing. It's just in your head.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
I need you to tell a story for me real quick.
Oh boy, you know I suck at stories, right?
Oh no, you know this one very well.
Okay.
I want you to go into detail about what happened with Lena the night that she had the ear infection and she woke you up with her crying.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Just go ahead and say it. Remember, you're being recorded, but this is a Halloween special for something. So I'm a guest caller. We'll call her a guest caller.
Hi,
So go ahead,
guest
tell
caller.
a story.
Okay, so this was in late September. She would have turned 1 year old in July, so she's a year and a few months old. She still doesn't walk very well, doesn't handle herself, very well. So she was in her crib and she was sick. So used to keep the doors to her room and my room open so that I could hear her because it's just, across one door from the other. So I heard her fussing, but I didn't run right in. I said, let me just listen to see if she falls back to sleep or if she's crying, then I would get up and get her. So I wait a little bit. She's not really crying, but I still kind of hear her fussing and making noises. So I said, okay, she's not falling back to sleep. Let me go, see if I need to pat her on the butt or whatnot. So when I walk back into the room, she's sitting on the floor with her blanket. This kid doesn't even know how to walk yet. How did she get out of her crib and not forget to take her blanket with her?
That's
The
creepy.
weird thing of it is that it was on the very same day, literally down to the day of my aunt's death of her anniversary.
Oh,
My aunt, who passed away at 38 years old, and before she was diagnosed with cancer, she lasted only 9 months. She was actually trying to have a baby.
oh, wow. That
Was
was
she
probably
very-
her then.
So
No.
the first thing I did was pick her up because I thought to myself, well, how'd she get out? She must have fallen. She must have hit herself. So I checked her. She had no injuries. She was not crying. She was babbling, but she wasn't crying. She wasn't upset. She was just making noises because she was awake.
Ooh.
It's kind of weird.
Well, who else had just
It was on the anniversary is even mind-boggling.
Well, who else passed away in the recent days before that happened?
25th. It was just a few weeks after September 11th.
So who passed away?
I don't remember who passed away.
Think Gus.
Or the date, at least.
You had told me that was when Ñañita.
No, that was on to the day on the anniversary of the medium.
I know, but that was also a few days after Ñañita had passed away.
I don't remember the date.
Ask your husband. It was a few days after Ñañita had passed.
He won't remember. He won't remember.
Oh. All right, guest caller. Thanks for calling. Talk
Thanks.
to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. That's
She's
the
a
other
good
story.
storyteller like you.
Well, I mean, it's really easy when, these are post-traumatic stress that's just ingrained into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's sketchy on the details. She'll do her research now and find out. So yes, it was to the day when my aunt had passed away. We were in high school still when my aunt passed away, and she was a very firm believer in her Christian faith, and she knew her time was coming, and she talked to her daughter, she talked to me and my sister, and she told us, she's like, don't worry, I'm gonna be around, I'm gonna be watching over you guys, I'll be in heaven watching down when you guys have kids and your kids have kids, like I'll always be there. Little
It
crazy.
could have been her. Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think? Like I
Mm.
said, it's a very I believe that's a very good possibility that was it. But her now, this is not my story to tell, so I won't go too far into detail. But her husband, he also did not have a very kosher life. He came from Cuba with his mother and stepfather, and when they were here already, the mother brought her parents over, but people lose their mind and they do things you can't explain, and they abandoned the family. Like the mother and the stepfather ran off, and they left two him and his brother. They were like 19 and 20 to take care of his grandparents that basically couldn't take care of themselves. So he manned up and he took care of his family, his wife, his kids, and his grandparents. But his grandfather had passed away, and shortly after, the grandmother passed away. And it was a couple of days after that we had the mysterious baby incident.
That is really, I don't know. I would have been so scared to find my baby outside of the crib all the time after that.
Like I
Oh
said,
God.
what are the odds? I remember she wasn't as colorful as she was the first time we talked about it, because she's like, "Do I have a ninja baby? How did this baby get out of the crib? Like, do I, is this child like belong in the Olympics or something? Like this kid scaled this crib, climbed down, wrapped herself in her blanket, swaddled herself in the middle of the
Mm-mm.
floor, staring at a corner in the room." I was like, "Oh no, I guess you got a ninja baby."
That's wild.
I've got sort of a funny one. Like like I had mentioned before, I've always been receptive to, people looking over me and stuff, and I've always hoped that people were looking over me, and my gran, she's not really my gran, but somebody that has taken care of me and looked over me my whole life. And so I call him my gran and my granddad. Granddad passed away a couple years ago, and I keep in touch with Gran, and she told me that she had went to a medium, and the medium had told her that Granddad checks in on me and Jamie every now and then to be sure we're doing well. And I was really happy to hear that. And I was like, okay, cool. Granddad is here and he does see me, and that made me feel good. And I was wondering, I was like, I didn't have a good relationship with my dad, and I'm like, I hope my dad's not around. I don't want him following me around. And um, somebody told me that I'm not going to name who it was unless they want to out themselves. But somebody told me that he does still follow me around and check in on me, and I was like, oh, gross. I don't want him around, and because he wasn't a good person, and come to find out, even in death, he's still a racist asshole.
You're very racist.
Oh my gosh.
Did you hear that?
What was that?
Lightning and thunder.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It was a little off cue. You didn't see me go over there and open the door.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to happen when I opened the door, so I was a little late. Sorry.
That's
Yeah,
so perfect.
Yeah. Even in death, my dad is a racist asshole. So I just thought that was kind of funny.
That is kind of funny. Hey, I mean, like, it's kind of comforting to know that you're not a different person, right?
Yeah, but
Good or bad.
with our mysterious Mustachio around, at least he keeps my father, the racist asshole, away.
Oh, hang on a second. I got something for you.
Maybe your dad's not watching you so often now.
Yeah, thankfully.
I want Nyoka to say something spooky. I want to get scared now.
Trying to think of what spooky stuff has happened recently.
Doesn't even have to be recently. Now, a lot of mine are old. Like, here we go. I'll go into one.
Okay.
We'll call this one Always on Watch. So I was deployed to a place, and this is in a very remote location. This was a training site that wasn't really occupied all the time, but you had to have somebody there on watch, holding it down, answering the phone, making sure the maintenance of the facility and whatnot. We get sent out there for a while, and the guys we were relieving, we got there, and then they're like, "I had it, you got it, bro. Get out of here." So I'm like, okay, well, what? And they start telling me stories, and I'm like, that can't be true. There's no way. I don't believe it. Well, I will tell you. They said, oh, this place is haunted. This place is definitely haunted. And they said, things I'm going to tell you stories about. They warned me about. They're like, have fun doing laundry at night. And if you have to go to the bathroom, just hold it.
No,
And I was like,
no.
oh, well. So a unit went through there to train, and they knew about the stories of this place too, because they asked us like, "Oh, you guys seen the ghosts yet?" And I'm like, "I've heard about them. I haven't seen anything yet." BS. I had already been experiencing stuff, but I'm always kind of inquisitive. Like, what do you got to bring to the table? Like, tell me something that you experienced. Like, I want to compare it to what I've been seeing. Well, they had a pyramid of beer cans. Now, it's a table, pyramid of beer cans stacked up, and we're just there talking. And as we're talking, it's just me and these two dudes in the room that are nowhere near this pyramid of beer cans. Well, the entire beer can pyramid toppled over like if somebody had taken the two out of the middle and it just crumbled in on itself, or maybe the two got punched out and just brrr, and dude turns around and goes, see, I told you this place is haunted. Just all nonchalantly. But so at night, you would hear voices. Now, I knew it was only me and another guy that were there. And if I was awake, he was asleep. And if he was asleep, I was awake. So I'm awake by myself at this time. Where we slept was right behind where we had to sit at. I know this dude's here. And in the middle of the night, I was like, all right, well, I got to go pee. And I remember just said, just hold it. But no, I was like, all right, I got to go pee. So I go and I'm doing my thing. And the stall doors start opening and shutting.
Oh, no.
And not like a gentle little opening and shutting, like slamming shut. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then the other one, boom. I'm like, never peed so fast in my life. But I went back downstairs and I'm like, I woke him up. I was like, dude, the stories are real. Like, this just happened. And he goes, oh, you're just now seeing this? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, man, I've been hearing the bathroom stalls and the dryer doors opening and closing the whole time we've been here. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was just extremely creepy because at night outside, we had to do a perimeter rove. You always thought you saw people. And you're like, you're driving in your truck. Did I just see what I thought I saw? I'm just going to keep driving and mind my business. But yeah, that place is definitely, if there's one place I've ever been to that I know is haunted, that's it.
That kind of reminds me of my grandma's house. She lived in an old farmhouse, and I spent a lot of time there as a kid. And I would be terrified to even think about getting up to use the restroom in the middle of the night because the adults would openly talk about seeing ghosts walk through this house. Like one was headless. One was a woman with long black hair, and she'd be sitting at like a vanity brushing her hair. A lot of creepy stuff there. The house freaked me out, but I loved it at the same time. And I dream to this day. I dream about that house all the time.
Got another one for you. Please tell me you've never played with a Ouija board.
Sure, I've never played with one of those.
I knew it. I'm not allowed to play it.
I wasn't either.
Oh no, but you know who doesn't let me play with it? My spirits.
Oh.
So I call this one what do you call let's call this story the flying planchette. I had a friend who now knows. I warned her and she didn't want to listen. I'll tell you that story afterwards too. But she started messing with the Ouija board. And one day she tried to tell me, let's just play. I'm like, no, I'm not allowed to play that. And then she's like, oh, come on. Yeah, let's play. I was like, this is bad, but okay. I put my fingers on the planchette and it flew off the board, like across from me. And they're like, who did that? And then I'm like, I'm putting my fingertips on it and it flew that way.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Oh, so they're like, what the hell? So we go and they put it back down again. I touch it, pew, flies in another direction this time. They get on without me and they spelled out he doesn't play.
That's amazing.
So this is I'll say this is a creepy story by proxy.
Okay.
Because I didn't witness this, but I did live with having to, well, live through it because she supposedly, I don't remember the names, so I'm just going to make the names up.
Mhm.
She supposedly met a poor little girl named Jessica, who was a little spirit that needed my friend to do things for her. And she was pulling at her heartstrings because she was a little girl that was drowned in a bathtub and her parents abused her. And her soul can't rest until you do these certain things. Well, my friend would consult me and I would tell her, don't listen to that thing. The demon lies. This is all bad. Like you're opening a doorway that you don't know how to close and you don't know how to manage what comes through that. You don't know what comes through that when you open that door.
Nope.
Turns out, I guess it's like getting catfished from the other plane because it was not a little girl she was talking to. She went to a medium and the medium basically I never met this medium, still don't know this medium, but the medium essentially told her everything I was telling her and then some. Turns out that it was somebody who ended up killing a bunch of people, then killing himself, and he was basically trapped in like basically hell on earth. And in order for him to do certain things, he was basically trying to get her to give him permission to enter her body.
Oh, yeah, no.
She was about to help this poor little girl.
Do you remember the 80s movie called Witchboard?
No.
Well, this lady would play it by herself, and that was always shown as like a really bad thing to do. Like it's bad enough to play, but never do it by yourself, and that's always stuck with me.
Well, here's another one. So we were in a garage band, and the boys wanted to play the Ouija board. Now I already know I can't touch it, can't play with it, but you know I can physically touch it. I just can't play it. So we had the garage door closed, but the back door to the garage is we all went out through there. So we had the Ouija board in the middle of the room on a flipped over trash can, and we had the planchette in the middle. Now I was trying to play a prank on my friends. So everybody walked out. I made sure I was the last one out. I took the planchette and I put it on yes. Fact. I physically took it and put it on yes, walked out the door and leaned against the door while everybody was smoking and doing their thing, whatever. And before we went in, I was leaning against the door for really for my prank, but that more validates that nobody snuck in there and did this.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're like, all right, well, let's get back to it. I turned around, I put my hand on the door, and I was like, oh, mighty spirits of the Ouija board. I'm going to change his name. Oh, mighty spirits of the Ouija board. Is Joey gay? Does he like to do things with men? All right, let's go see what the Ouija board says. We opened the door, and I let Joey in first. And he walks over to the Ouija board, and he's like, it didn't do anything. The planchette was in the middle of the board.
Oh.
I put it on yes to set up my joke, and we walked out. Planchette moved on its own.
It ruined your joke.
It's not supposed to move by itself.
And that.
But I 100% knew that something bad was there. Now, we were all into Slipknot. Like, if you can get a little image of what we were like in high school. I had a mohawk down to my shoulders, like Phil Anselmo style. My friends all had like the Slipknot hair, and you know they wear the white contacts and like, oh, I'm scary, I'm big and mean, you know, I'm scared of nothing.
Yeah, I would have hung out with you guys.
Our singer, our vocalist, he sounded a lot like Corey Taylor. The guy was pretty good. He liked to, you know, oh, I'm not scared of anything. I'm a big tough guy. One day goes to the kitchen to get a cup of water. And he's getting a cup of water, and this guy panics, drops the cup of water, starts screaming, just bloody murder. Oh, what the? Oh my God! Like, this guy's terrified. He's pale as a ghost. He comes over and he tells us what he saw. Apparently, he looked out the window in the backyard and he saw an old lady in a long white dress, and she had like white hair, and apparently she had like red eyes, and she was just looking at him. He's like, I could tell she wanted to hurt me. Now, the owner of the house, Joey, we'll call him, knew about this thing. He's seen it plenty of times. He's like, oh, you just saw the old lady. But my validation right there was the big tough guy that under no circumstances would he ever admit to being afraid of anything, screamed like a girl and ran away and was just 1,000 miles an hour telling us what he just saw that was in the kitchen. Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently Joey's dad one day heard a knocking at the door, opened the door, and it was the old lady, and he was so mad he had to get out of bed. He didn't even care it was a ghost. He said, "Get out of here, you stupid old thing, making me get out of bed. What's wrong with you?" Slammed
See,
the door
that
in his
is the
face.
difference when someone is used to seeing this stuff versus someone who never sees this stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because the
That's
guy was more
crazy.
upset. He didn't worry that he would just got woken up by a ghost. He worried that he had to get out of bed to go open the door, and it was a damn ghost.
Now, I do want to say for those listening, if you have a spooky story, I don't care that Halloween's going to be over, send it. I love
Halloween
this
is
stuff.
around when you live our lives.
Right? Like, I would love to share this stuff on the podcast. You can be anonymous. I don't care.
You can be like Mysterious Mustachio.
That's right.
Come up with your own cool name.
Yeah. You can make up your own name.
Oh, I'm more so for any of the stories I shared. I'd like to see in the comments, like, what do you think? Like, what's your analogy? Because I mean, I know what I think, but I'm not trying to influence anybody to think a certain way. Genuinely curious. I'm a very English is my second language, but I don't even know the word. I like to try to find common sense. Like I like to try to find logic in things.
Yeah.
And these stories that I told you today, I've racked my brain and I've really tried to find a logical explanation for
And you
any of
can't.
this. I can't.
Some things you just
So-
can't.
So comments and theories are very welcome.
Yeah. And even
But-
like the dream thing, I'm really into the dream stuff. So send those stories too.
Oh,
Yeah.
and yeah, dreaming about teeth. Teeth
Oh,
is
that's the worst.
teeth is bad. You know what teeth means?
It's not
Teeth?
good, right?
Teeth are a white or gray dog. That means death is nearby. Whether it's someone you know
Mm.
or someone just close to you. It doesn't have to be you, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And they
But
always come in threes. Death does.
well, this dream definitely came in three. Let's analyze another dream that I had a long time ago. At the end of the story, I'll reveal who ended up passing away.
Mhm.
But I had this dream, right? And it's very weird. I can't remember which one came first. Okay, no, it was the alligator. Okay, so I had a dream. My mother, the doctors were trying to tell her that she needed another surgery, and she actually turned out not needing one. But I remember in this dream, she was getting eaten by an alligator, and it was eating where supposedly they had said that she needed to have her surgery. And I lost my ever flipping mind, and I jumped on this thing, and I'm just ready to just rip this alligator's jaws in half. But when I grabbed its mouth and ripped it open, it had no teeth. Woman in my dream turns to me and tells me, "These teeth can't hurt you." Oh, okay. And then I think it was the dog was next. So randomly, there's a dog gnawing on my leg. Like it's actively biting my leg. And in my dream, I'm freaking out. Like oh my God, I'm trying to beat this thing off of me. But when I look, the dog has no teeth. Again, just gums. And there's a little old lady again saying, "These teeth can't hurt you." At the end, I go and I look in the mirror. And did you ever watch Ren and Stimpy?
Yes. Yes.
Do you remember when they would pull out their teeth and they had the nerve endings
Yes.
that would hang out of their
Mhm.
teeth? So I look in the mirror and I smile, and my teeth are shattered. Like they're broken apart, like just shards of glass with nerve endings and blood hanging out. And now I'm freaking out. And I look over to the old lady and she says, "Hold on, because these teeth are going to hurt."
That's creepy.
You're right about it being in threes, because about a few weeks after, I hear about two people that I know, separate and unrelated. They passed away, and I was like, "Oh man, that kind of sucks." Like, "Oh man, oh
Right.
well." Remember the one that these teeth are gonna hurt?
Yeah.
My uncle passed away due to COVID complications. Not very long after that, and we were
Oh.
close. He had a lot of health complications already. I'm not saying COVID killed him, but it definitely didn't help.
Yeah.
He was overweight and he had blood clots and he was not doing great. And COVID was just cherry on the sundae.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, those teeth were gonna hurt, and they did. But it was crazy because they predicted to me that some stuff was gonna happen, but that it wasn't really gonna affect me very much. Like the alligator biting my mom had
Right.
no teeth; it just gums. And then the dog biting my leg, just gums. But then when I looked, and my teeth were all shattered, and like, whole, strap in. This is gonna hurt.
You know,
Turns out,
listeners too, when it comes to dreams, if you have stories with visitation dreams, I'd love to hear those too.
I have a visitation dream. I just remembered that I was able to interpret because I mentioned earlier where I could never really interpret my dreams because they were so big.
Yeah.
I had a dream that this was in 2023 or 23 or 24. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But before I left for Japan, I went to see my grandpa, which was my mom's father, who I was very, very close to because my father wasn't around when I was a kid. He pretty much was like my dad. I spent my summers there down in Petersburg, Kentucky, every year. I was very close to him. And before I left for Japan, I went to see him my last couple days I was home. And he said, "Oh, well, you better give me a big old hug because I might not be here when you get back." And I'm like, you better be. He had a lot of health problems. He was getting older. He had really bad diabetes, leukemia, stuff like that. Well, I had a dream that was seeing Jamie and he was meeting my boyfriend at the time. And he was telling me in my dream, he was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you again. Just, one more time, and we get to spend this Christmas together." And I had actually just sent him a picture of me, and it was right before Christmas. I had just sent him a picture of me in uniform that said, "Sorry, I can't be with you physically there on Christmas, but at least I'm there with you for Christmas." And he sent me back a picture of him holding the picture of me in uniform. And so the next morning I woke up and I told my boyfriend at the time about the dream, and he was like, "Oh, that's so cute." And I was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "That's not cute." I was like, "My grandpa's sick and he's going to die." And my mom called me a couple days later and said, long story short, grandpa's doing real, real bad. He needs this medication. This medication is going to cost about $14,000 a month to keep him alive. And we did everything we could. Pharmaceutical companies, don't get me on that tangent, but
Yeah, me neither.
weren't able to afford the medication. He ended up in the hospital. I did a quick trip out of Japan, and he died the week before Christmas. And this was all within about a 2-week range.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow. That gave me goosebumps too.
Yeah. So I knew that one was coming because I knew that dream wasn't going to be a good one.
Right. It feels different when you have those kind of dreams and
Yeah.
visitation dreams. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah, but I did make it home in time that he was on a ventilator and everything, and he was on a lot of pain medicine, but he was still fairly coherent, so he knew I was there and he knew I came home to see him and everything, and I got to be there with him in his last moments. So
At least you made it in time.
yeah, exactly. And
Mhm.
I know that he's better now and everything, but
If I was a ghost, I would haunt people for fun all the time, especially on
sure.
Halloween.
I would too. Have you ever seen those little memes
No.
where it's like, if you were a ghost, what would you do just to completely annoy people? Like,
Yeah.
check out all their light bulbs or like take
Yes.
the shoelaces out of only their left
Hide the
shoes.
toilet paper. I mean, anything that would be annoying. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, the veil is dropped on, All Hallows Eve, and
Oh,
sometimes
yes.
what you see may not be what you're really seeing.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting, isn't it? I love it. Well, I feel like we could talk forever, but I guess this would be a sweet stop for this. And I think this episode was amazing. I was so excited. I was telling Mandi that I was pumped. I was pumped about this. I'm so excited.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Mustachio
Mysterious Mustachio.
and Mandi coming on.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be here.
Well,
We got more in the works, me and
I
Mandi.
just scratched the surface. You let me know when you want to do another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew it. I knew I hooked him.
Well, I mean, I got somebody I can talk to about all the creepy stuff that I never tell anybody because I don't want people to think I'm crazy.
Right,
I found my
same.
people. Let's talk. I'm pretty sure your listeners
I have
are
a
very
really
open-minded.
good community of people that listen. They're
Exactly.
amazing.
These are all stories I've had to keep to myself throughout the years, and now I can actually talk about them with people that understand. Brilliant.
Right. Thank you again for joining us, and happy Halloween to everyone listening. I hope it's amazing and spooky and scary and all the good stuff. And I hope your teeth don't fall out. So,
No, me too.
Me too.
How's that light doing?
it's on now. You can turn it off again?
No, I don't think so.
That was
dude.
creepy.
Can't do that. I can't control them. They do what they want.
Well, they sure did it. All right. Well, until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Sleep well.